I mean, there's a lot of ways they could take it. Honestly, here's where I'm gonna hedge my bet, right? Possible future direction. And if they actually do this, then like, you know, you guys gotta say I called it, right? You know how the Final Fantasy VII remake is basically reinventing Final Fantasy VII and like completely revamping mechanics, completely changing the fundamental basics of the game. Do that but Ocarina of Time. And I think that's the direction they could actually take it in. Because you're basically taking like a well-established classic, but modernizing it for modern times. And that's what I could see happening next. And I think that kind of almost makes sense as like kind of a path to go. But like Between Worlds, kind of, yeah, kind of. I guess that's the closest comparison. Probably, but like more involved in Between Worlds. So it's like you look at like the Final Fantasy VII remake, like that has changed so much while keeping like the base game experience intact. I could see that being like a way to proceed forward. Because I think if they just make a new game, it's getting compared to Tears of the Kingdom, you know? It's just getting compared. But if you remaster a classic one like that, then like it can kind of stand on its own a little more. They already did that though. They didn't. They just ported it to 3DS. It's not the same thing. But I'm like specifically talking like, again, like I think the 7 remake is the best example of it, where like it's completely changing it. Like it's basically a brand new game, but like you recognize the characters and bits of the plot. I think that's a way they could do it. That'd be cool. Yeah, I think that'd be cool for Zelda and that. I feel like a lot of game franchises could do that sometimes. Games are very uniquely positioned where it's like you almost have to modernize them every few years because just the technology advances further and further. Especially with just like, I guess, earlier era games in particular. Like it's very noticeable. The way you actually physically engage with the game has changed. You know, it's kind of unlike any other medium. Like imagine like reading a book. It's like, oh, we made the book too. Like, oh, okay. More powerful book. You know, you can read more efficiently now. Okay. No, it doesn't really happen in other mediums. Whereas in games, like, because like technology is always improving, it's noticeable. You know, for like, especially like for just, I guess anything up to like 2015 or so. I don't know what the cutoff point would be for that. We've kind of hit a bit of a standard in recent years just because of like HD, you know, and modernizing everything for it. And like the way we engage the game has not changed much from the controller. The Kindle's not a book too though. Kindle's just like, you know, that's like, here's your ebooks. It's hard to explain like what I mean, but you know how like movies went from black and white to color. Imagine games, but like they do that every 5 years. That's what it's kind of like. And you know, you kind of don't want to go back once you've gotten the new color.